Self out onto the point. Those of you tuned in watching on Flow get a instant replay. Chase Johnson came down there and tried to carve the corner and came up and got into the left front of Ede and sent her awry. Those watching on Flow Racing, it's right there in your face. And, he seen him get on the binders. Right rear was down on that 67 car. It looked like that was shredded before that thing went awry.
Yeah, he just skidded.
I'm pretty sure he blew the right rear getting into the corner. We'll watch it again. Tagged the wall. And obviously can't quite catch it from that angle, but I swear that it looked like the right rear blew as he was getting into the corner. Similar to what we saw with Chase Randall, had that happen to him up at Houston Speedway.
That's exactly right.
Taking place there, and unfortunately just punched into the side of Tyler Courtney, and it instantly sheared off the right front. He lost the right front spring came out of it, and when he tried to get down into turn number one, it just kind of folded over on him. But charged down there, and Tyler Courtney trying to get down to the bottom, and Dason Pursley was trying to anticipate. It was nothing intentional took place down there, but it was definitely hard contact on the right front of the 71P car. Just kind of got wedged into the Nerf bar on Tyler Courtney. Boy, that thing folded over, and he just went for a little bit of a tumble out through there. From three different angles on the instant replay here, and watching him get down into the corner, for those of you out here in the stands describing it, he just kind of bounced, biked, and then went into a cartwheel. He had about, we'll call it 6 cartwheels, but only touched the ground 3 times. Look at that. He no more came to a stop, and fire and safety was already hot-footing it out across the racetrack. It was unbelievable reaction time on their part. Whenever he got up there on the right front, it looked like it just kind of folded underneath the car, and that's whenever it all went horribly awry. It was already going awry before that. It sounds like Drake York may have more information.
Yeah, Chet, as you said, broken front end on that race car, as well as a broken right front shock, and the tail tank is punched pretty good. And we'll have
instant replay coming up for those watching on Flow Racing, and it looked like, coming out of the corner. Might have been Chance Crum coming off the top shelf. Watching the instant replay again, Chance Crum was out wide. That 6'8 Motorsports kind of shot down and got into Whitley, pivoted Whitley around. And then Whitley got into T-Mez, and chaos ensued from that point forward. But that kind of all started with the 68 car, unfortunately. Man, and that little lick on the right front of Daniel Whitley sent him around so fast.
Down low, and then it looked like Jesse Love kind of came down a little bit there. Maybe got a nice, good run there coming off turn number 2. So Meserol down low, top right, there's Love. He's kind of doing the crossover move to try and get underneath Stenhouse, and then they just come together over there in turn number 2. Meserol certainly had nowhere to go. I think Love may have just been trying to squeak through there. As you can see all the oil there pop out of the 7X. Here's a look at it one more time in slow-mo. So Meserol down low. And Love with the run. Yeah, it looked like he's just trying to go outside of Meserol and squeak underneath Stenhouse. Big air and big hit for T-Mez, but good news, of course, climbing out under his own power.
Bloomington Speedway and how you would vault off of the turns, how steep it is. And I think that, her midget and that flip she went for showed us how steep and high banked it is here. But your point about her national championships and tumbling, I don't think she wants those two things to be together synonymously at the racetrack.
I would agree with that as well. And speaking of the banking, the other thing that kind of showcased for us, whenever that banking drops off on the outside, that's kind of a gentle landing. It kind of eases you down, so it's not an abrupt stop. It's more of just a rolling down the banking type deal.
Yep. She landed each flip pretty.
97 car, but that was one of the most vicious tumbles I've seen in a long time. He was bringing a lot of speed out of turn number 2 and just got into the wall back there, and that's why I don't race midgets. So 97 car going off on the hook. We did score a lap into the books. Your race leader, Spencer Basin. Beyond the wheel of the 9AU. Second's going to be Tanner Carrick in the 98 car. Emerson Axum will be third in the 68. Buddy Kofoid is fourth in the 67K. Fifth will be Dason Pursley in the 19. Then Jesse Love, Tanner Thorson, Logan Seavey, Jake Andreotti, and Ryan Timms will round out the top 10 whenever we get set to refire this field. Grant, the 2J car running second as we watch the instant replay on Flow, and I'm going to have to watch that again. That happened a little too quick. I just caught that was happening there. I'll try to give you a heads up on this. It's coming off the bottom. It looks like Kenna McIntosh slid off the bottom and stalled. Chase McDermott had nowhere to go, and Kaylee Bryson had nowhere to go. So both of them were blazed up. Now, Kaylee Bryson, and the reason she's still sitting there, had lost it, knocked the front end out of the car when she went over. But here's the thing about a front end in a midget or a sprint car. You can replace a front end. Here comes the instant replay for everybody watching on Flow Racing. That thing started to wheelie up, and well, bam, he was over. And it was a cartwheel catastrophe over out to the outside fence for Timms in the 97K. Boy, that's one of those deals, too, where you watch him ripping around Bakersfield Speedway here, and you think, man, that looks like fun. I could do that. And then something like that happens, and you think, no, I don't want to do that. Wow. So tough break for Timms. Was holding down that final transfer spot. Jade had run him down in the 84 car. Well, now we'll restart. Fourth on the field. Watch this. Right there, just ramps up onto it. And, man, that is another vicious tumble for Ryan Timms. Boy, I think he got up on the apron of the racetrack and rocked it back onto the tail feathers, and he stayed on the throttle and unfortunately powered himself to the moon. Instant replay coming up here on Flow Racing. You see she was just kind of slow down the back straightaway, and Chase just no place to go. Jacked it sideways, and unfortunately. Drake?
Well, Chad, I'm not sure exactly what happened to Jade Affidisi, and you were talking about her coming up lame down the back straightaway, so must be something internally. I can't see anything that's blatantly obvious that would have caused that, but rear bumper pushed up pretty good, left rear flat, a little bit of front end damage for the 71 crew. As for Chase Johnson, as they're getting it on the hook, there's some fluid coming out of it. I can't tell